idea how corrupt our government is. The American people think our government is just kind of corrupt. Hey fam, check this out. The Pentagon said there was an accounting error, and that's why they sent $6.2 billion more to Ukraine. Oops, I guess. Don't worry, guys. It's only $6 billion. You think you're going to convince me that you just lost $6.2 billion? You think I'm a fool? You think I'm a goof? You think I'm an idiot? Pentagon think we're dumb, guys. They think we're dumb. I'm supposed to give benefit of the doubt to the Pentagon, who can't pass an audit. They failed 5 audits in a row, but I'm supposed to give them benefit of the doubt. I told y'all from day one that the Ukraine proxy war was a massive money laundering scheme. Just imagine you're working as a cashier and you fail 5 audits in a row. Imagine you're working as a cashier and you lose $600, let alone $6.2 billion. What will happen to your ass? That's how there's never accountability for the ruling class. But God forbid a customer service worker gets your order wrong. Surely this was just a mistake on their behalf. Surely this was just an oopsie. Come on, man. It's only $6 billion that they lost.
Yeah, and then they found another billion that they're gonna send on top of that. They're just doing it little by little, so we don't notice.
As I said, I told you guys on RBN since day one, that this was a money laundering scheme. And then there's people who think they're wise, that NATO left, the Marianne Williamson left, the Bernie Sanders left, who think they are actually anti-imperialist, they think they're anti-establishment, when their votes and their support for this war leads directly to record Raytheon profits, record defense contractor profits, and a boom of the military-industrial complex. If you vote or if you support policy that leads to a boom of the military-industrial complex, you in no way, shape, or form a leftist. And call me a gatekeeper if you want. But I feel like that's not unreasonable. So this is the story. And feel free to chime in anytime, Zoya. Great to have Zoya here. I'm asking you guys this question because you guys pay attention more to other independent media channels I do. Maybe I should ask CJ and Savvy. But I promise you that you are not going to see this story in the standard NATO left YouTube channels. The people that consider themselves progressives, but they are making asses of themselves to explain why they support a proxy war in Ukraine, like Marianne Williamson. You're not going to see her supporters cover this story. Because they cover the story, they realize they're being complicit in a massive corruption scheme. Pentagon says accounting error provides extra $6.2 billion in Ukraine military aid. Isn't it funny how there's never an error that helps the working class? Oops, we accidentally gave $6.2 billion more to homeless people. Actually gave billions more and food stamps more than we planned. You see how the accidents always go in one direction? That's why I'm calling your bullshit out. I'm not going to even accept the framing that this is some sort of error or accident. How dare you insult my intelligence, thinking that I'm going to believe that this shit is an accident, that this is some sort of error. The Pentagon Tuesday claimed that accounting error has freed up an additional $6.2 billion to spend on military aid for Ukraine. Because, all right, so this random money popped up. Why not forfeit that towards the greater good, United States social spending? We are seeing an empire in collapse where Biden agreed on a deal with Republicans to cut social spending, while at the same time expanding the military industrial complex, expanding the police state, and they're funneling money to fund proxy war and expand empire all over the globe. I have studied history. I know it's just a little bit. Kind of how empires die, guys. We live in this shit right now. So anything you want to add before I continue?
Yeah, just to your point, over 42 million Americans face hunger each and every day, including 1 in 6 children, while programs like the F-35, who the Pentagon already admitted is a failure, cost $1.5 trillion. So Yeah, where's the GOP outrage for that? All of these fiscal conservatives. Why do they want to cut SNAP
Yes.
benefits and deny fellow Americans basic rights like healthcare that literally every developed country on earth provides, while completely ignoring the primary drain of all of our funds?
Absolutely. And that's why I love taking on fiscal conservatives. They have had a hard time reconciling with my position in this space. I get these conservatives all the time like, man, I wish you would just drop the Marxism shit. I wish you would drop the socialism shit. I love your content otherwise. And I'm like extremely confused at this, because when you look at the people who support giant military spending, when you look at people who actually believe on treading on us, stealing our rights away, implementing a police state, that is the conservatives. They scream like, even, and I'm talking about even the right wing populists. So I'm talking about the quote unquote best among them, right? They will scream defund the FBI, and we will agree with that. But they want to take that money and fund this fascist police force as an occupier that steals and siphons the wealth of the working class via civil asset forfeiture more. They say they want small government, but they actually want a police state, nanny state, where police is everywhere. They're well funded and well armed, and we got a giant overextended military. You guys understand that the right wing, they said that Biden and Barack Obama depleted our military. This is the stuff they say. So they see what Jim Crow Joe and Barack Obama done. They're like, they're weak. Hillary Clinton saw what Barack Obama said, and what he did, I mean, for 8 years, and she thought he was weak. In 2015, the Hillary campaign said that they're going to have a more hawkish foreign policy compared to Barack Obama. And this is something that both parties agree on. Kevin McCarthy, fucking performative. Marjorie Taylor Greene, performative. Matt Gaetz, performative. All that hoopla. Are we going to withhold our vote for Kevin McCarthy so he can cut the military spending? We actually care about the people. We're going to fight the establishment, say these frauds that we called out. These frauds, Matt Gaetz, Marty Taylor Greene. I told you guys that he was never real, never serious, never serious. So then they went to support Kevin McCarthy and these Republicans who now increasing the military spending more on police. So I can't even respect the right's position. I can't respect the capitalist position because they're inconsistent, wholly inconsistent. They don't care about small government. They just hate the poor. And what they don't understand is that when you believe in free market capitalism, when you have capitalists and oligarchs whose power exceeds the government, that is what leads to mistrust. Do you guys understand me? Well, let me break this down. So, do you guys know why people didn't trust the vaccines? Even though the vaccines were safe and effective, YouTube? But people didn't trust them because they thought that Moderna and Pfizer bought the government off and was telling people and giving people advice based on stuff that will increase their profits. That is corporate capitalist capture of the government. Okay? So once the capitalists and the oligarchs that are not public servants become more powerful than the government and they influence the government's decision, that leads to mistrust because people think the government is bullshitting them to serve Pfizer. People don't understand that this is a Marxist argument. This is an argument against your system. But people are afraid to use correct language. They don't want to speak truth to power, which is not my thing. So when I call out capitalism, which I'm going to do in the next segment as well, it makes some people uncomfortable. You can't be a coward. You got to call out the root causes of this. And there's so many people that are afraid to call out the root causes because they're afraid to lose right-wing audiences. So big props, because there are quite a few of them. Big props to the right-wingers who still listen, despite my willingness to call out this garbage system. But I find people who are afraid to use the C word to blame capitalism, I find that extremely cowardice. When it's looking at you right in the goddamn face. And don't worry, this can be the theme of the show if you guys want, because the next show, you're going to have a right-winger expose how BlackRock, once again, capital that's stronger and more powerful than the government, they bought our government off. And they influence everything that goes on in our society. But people think socialism is the problem. No, it's when capital private capital becomes more powerful than the will of the people in our central planning model, which is the government. You guys understand? I'm gonna get to you guys.
Can I quote a famous communist really quickly? He said,
anytime you want, Zoya, anytime you want.
I love you, Nick. Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. That is a quote from the famous communist Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Oh, Zoya, are you? Well, I can preach on this all day. You know, I'm gonna hammer this home next segment. So I'm gonna show you guys this video. This is from a year ago, and you can find these stories everywhere. Like our government is just openly corrupt, and then they hear my quote unquote radical ass, and people think I'm crazy when I say stuff that is obviously looking at us in the face. People say, "Oh my God, Nick, you're so brave for saying this. Oh my God, Nick, I'm glad you said." Like, how everyone else not? That's my mindset. I'm saying the absolutely obvious. That's why it baffles me, the cowardice of the NATO left and the Bernie Sanders left. Let's watch this video. This is from corporate media, what the mainstream media will admit.
The Pentagon has failed another audit.
They kind of provide excuses on why they fail audits. Which, why should we accept this as a populace? Once again, you're gonna hear excuses in here.
The Pentagon has failed another audit, but with an expected $770 billion budgeted for the Defense Department in fiscal year 2022, keeping track of all this money is no simple matter.
It took the Department of Homeland Security a decade to pass its audit, and it's a fraction of the size of the Defense Department.
Old systems for tracking funds, a slow bureaucracy, and the sheer size of the U.S. defense apparatus have kept audits from passing since they began in late 2017.
We need to impose some kind of a penalty.
Personally, I would like to spend as little in the military as possible while achieving the important national security goals that the country has and that the people expect from the country.
After 4 straight failures, why does the Department of Defense struggle to pass an audit? The Department of Defense is responsible for defending U.S. interests around the world. Since 1988, the budget has grown from over $634 billion to over $724 billion in 2020. But the defense budget as a percentage of the total gross domestic product has actually dropped in the same period from 5.7% to 3.5%.
Like any organization in America, any large organization anyway, the single biggest expense on the balance sheet is people. And it's no different for the Defense Department.
The size of the budget is constantly a subject of debate, but for lawmakers to make informed decisions, they need good data.
The financial systems that you have in DoD right now are set up to control taxpayers' dollars, to guarantee that there is not going to be unauthorized use of it. So every use, every dollar and cent is accounted for. You can see that by the ADA violations being extremely low.
It is one of the largest organizations on planet Earth, right? $750 billion, direct payroll for 1 million people. Congress has plenty of data on the department, but they don't have useful data and they don't have visualized.
You guys see this? I think we can stop it there. All those goddamn excuses. Oh, but this. Oh my God, there's just a lot of people. Oh my God, we just got so much stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, there's just a large bureaucracy. How can we possibly pass an audit? When you hear the excuses from these fucking grifters, it's incredible. You guys are making excuses for the inability to track $2 trillion. You are making excuses for failing 5 audits in a row. And whenever they are asked about this, they're like, you guys just don't understand. You guys don't understand how hard it is. How about we dismantle and shrink the Pentagon then if it's too hard for you to count your money, for you to track your shit? So, as I said in the intro video, imagine if you're a cashier, man. So this is my critique of our society. Imagine if you're a cashier and you lose $1,000 and then your manager and your boss call you out. And you're like, you just don't understand, man. We got a lot of money coming in and there's a lot of things to process. Of course I'll fuck up every once in a while. We understand, man. I'm dealing with a lot of money. That is the excuse the Pentagon uses. And people accept it. That cashier will be fired before he finishes the sentence. But meanwhile, we're supposed to accept this excuse from the ruling class. You guys see how there's no accountability ever? Police departments constantly fail audits. Pentagon constantly fail audits. Congress has like a 15% approval rating. Joe Biden has a failing approval rating. Police don't solve crime. Our hospitals are failing. 60,000 people are dying each year because of lack of health care. Our ruling class is failing, but they pat themselves on the back and get themselves fucking Nobel Peace Prizes and shit. But people are not upset. Socialist MMA is uniquely upset and uniquely angry. He need to chill out, according to some people. How are you guys not as upset as I am? Now we're gonna see another bullshit artist. We covered this before, but it's very relevant to this segment. So I'll just let this play and we wrap the segment up on this. Because this is like, whenever the Pentagon is called out for this shit, they pretend that we're just being rude, we're being ignorant peasants. Their scummy elitist attitudes is extremely off-putting to me.
Like these are unfair questions of somebody within a department of that size and scope. Do you feel that it's somewhat unfair?
You have a particular thing you really want to talk about and you're asking me other questions, but I don't think it's unfair to ask me about the audit. It's absolutely the case that the United States military should be able to pass an audit, and we've got to be on that pathway to get there.
But don't you think that does speak to the larger point that we're trying to?
Yeah, I know I keep losing hundreds of dollars as a cashier, but just be patient with me and I'm going to get better, and I'll make sure we won't lose money maybe a year or two from now. Would that work as a cashier? And
just to add some context to this, it's the only U.S. government agency incapable of passing an audit 5 times, no less. It's capable of accounting for only 39% of 3.5 trillion in assets under its management. So Pentagon cannot account for 60% of all the assets they maintain.
God forbid you fail an IRS audit. Can you tell them, yeah, come on, man, a lot of business, a lot of money going in. Yeah, it's something we working on. It's something, you're right. That's what you said. You're right. It's something we work on. Get back at us. We'll see what the IRS said to you. I want to call out the contradictions in our society.
Get at, which is good journalism uncovers corruption. And
okay, good journalism does uncover corruption, but I'm not sure these two things are linked. An audit is not.
But they are.
Okay, so
I told you, they think we're idiots. She think I'm a goof.
To explain to me, do you understand?
They think we're idiots. They think, oh well, this is us. Oops, it's an accident. We're not corrupt. How dumb do you think we are? How dumb?
What an audit does and the degree to which it is linked to the question that you're asking?
I believe so.
Okay, go ahead. Give me your explanation.
No, I don't mind learning. So what I would suggest is that the audit that they have in the military doesn't really look at whether or not there's efficacy. It's just whether they got delivered the thing that they ordered. And
that is any audit. That is any audit. That is true.
But generally, those audits aren't $400 billion for Raytheon and $1.7 trillion for a plane that doesn't seem to be doing. Like, there is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits and waste, fraud, and abuse are not the same thing. So let's decompose these.
Please educate me on
sure. So an audit is exactly what you just described,
yes.
Which is, do I know what was delivered to which place?
Right.
The ability to pass an audit, or the fact that the DoD has not passed an audit, is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse. That is completely false, right there.
They think we're fucking idiots. They think we're goofs. We fools out here, Zoya.
Yeah,
the cashier that fails the audit is not indicative of him stealing money. Not indicative of abuse. Him failing an audit, him not able to locate $2,000. This is the gaslighting of the ruling class. Go ahead, Zoya. I know you want to chime in.
Yeah, and this is, she's lecturing the people that are paying her. And besides making, super cute pinky promises, the Pentagon failed to make any improvements from the year prior, showing they could care less about trying to pass the audit at all. There's no real oversight or accountability for one of the largest agencies on Earth. And as you heard, an audit is just knowing what was delivered to which place. Like, think about that for a moment. Our government cannot tell us what items were delivered where. Feel free to laugh in the black market.
Yeah, that's why our weapon sales lead to a black market boom in weapons. So the liberals who claim they are against gun violence, their votes and their policy directly lead to black market booms that lead to terrorists, white supremacists, and others to acquire weapons. So their problem is it shows how they are hypocrites.
The other point that John Stewart makes in that video is the treatment of veterans. So the treatment of those who fight the wars versus the companies that provide the military with the weapons. The latter half is exponentially overpaid, never denied a single lavish expense. They can't account for billions in just flights to places. The former, besides being the ones who fight, suffer, and die, are disregarded and considered disposable. And the Post wrote an op-ed advocating means testing veterans benefits for those who are suffering with confirmed disabilities which were sustained in the line of duty. And they callously gloated that these reforms can save billions, while the Pentagon misplaces trillions, and veterans commit suicide. A veteran commits suicide every single hour.
That show how cruel our system is. And they would attack. I see many segments where they attack Russia and China for this. So there was a segment that lived rent free in my head where they said Russia is sending soldiers to Ukraine to die. Putin don't care about soldiers. And I'm like, bro, 22 soldiers kill themselves every day in this country, right? Like it's already grotesque, but that's just a sign that they really don't give a fuck. They really don't give a fuck. That these people are willing to do work on behalf of the empire, and they still say fuck you. My dad was in Korea. He was a driver in Korea. They denied him VA benefits for years. They actively fought him. Like they'll hire investigators to try and prove his claims wrong. Openly corrupt.